Good evening, sisters and brothers. Welcome to another community awareness series. Tonight, we will be commemorating Juneteenth. For those of you who are not familiar with the celebration, it has gone on for, say, 150 years. I believe that is the anniversary for the celebration. And what it is the commemoration, the remembrance, the honoring of slavery to freedom. We want to break every chain. Break every chain. So tonight we will be opening up with Mr. Roy Merriweather, who is piano virtuosus, master pianist. He has played with many people, actually child prodigy, and gone on from there, but master pianist, Mr. Merriweather.
You gonna sing it?
No, I'm just waiting to play it. I'm not singing.
By myself?
Oh, yes.
How would you like it?
However. Thank you. Yes.
I'm not complaining.
Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, Mr. Roy Merriweather. I'm about to also add to with the poets, but before I do, I just want us to kind of remember today we're celebrating Juneteenth, but we're also mourning what happened over the past week in South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
And I want us to be cognizant that the struggle continues. That we are a people under siege. But we also need to remember that we are free people and we need to fight for our right, fight for justice. The struggle continues. Break every chain. So I'm going to bring up right now Brother Michael Goins, who's going to add to with his spoken word.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm going to do some pieces from my book, Spoken Words of Unspoken Truth. I can get this mic out here. I can't breathe. Hands up. It's hunting season. And black people, we at prey. After all, this is America the Beautiful, the land acquired through genocide, built on slavery, and thrives on hate, greed, and deceit. Now, there is a justice system that's blind, but only to the truth. See, they use a balancing scale, and those who have money, well, they don't go to jail. But this war on us, you know, the one they call drugs, notice, they never seem to apprehend the real thugs who import this mess. But the young and poor, oh yeah, they're always subject to arrest. And with their silent code of blue, some feel free to harass or kill you. Oh, we seek justice, but there won't be a real trial because some way, somehow, they always get to step off wearing a smile. Hey, ask yourself what's true. Has Big Brother used intimidation, criminalization, or assassination of any individual or organization that would stand up and oppose the status quo? Oh, then use the media to spin it and tell you whatever it is that they want you to know. And it's been said they went as far as to pull off a coup de grace, and what did the media say? It was that eyeball fellow who killed JFK. Some say it was a lie. They still stand by. Thick as thieves. Hey, do you remember former Vice President Agnew? Yes, no, maybe? Oh well, see, he was indicted for fraud of income tax revenue, but he got a pardon from his boy, Tricky Dick. See, Richard didn't want him to snitch about any of his little dirty tricks. Then came that actor who played the role of Commander-in-Chief. Hey, don't get it twisted. There are those who say the man was a creep. See, voodoo Reaganomics took from the working class poor so that the upper 2% could satisfy their need for greed, yet our nation that's indivisible took the liberty to deprive the rest of us. And this was from the government elected by who? Oh, rest assured, they didn't represent you. This is America the Beautiful. Land acquired through genocide, built on slavery, and thrives on hate, greed, and deceit. I'm going to try something new that's kind of in the works, so I hope I don't mess it up.
Not here.
Hey, I see you, not seeing me. And I hear all the hypocrisy from the GOP, not to mention the Tea Party, hosting Klan-type rallies, shouting their coded word rhetoric, waving the flag of hatred and bigotry. Yeah, I see you, not seeing me. The public school system used as a political platform for reform through testing, designed to eliminate tenured teachers and urban schools, where the students are required to pledge allegiance to the nation, where zip codes determine the quality of education. I see you, not seeing me. Congressional dysfunction at its best, conspiring to undermine the president, dark of complexion they don't respect, and when they can't have their way, sorry, we're shutting down the government today. Hey, I see you, not seeing me. Politicians bought and paid for by the Koch brothers and a few others who want to dictate policy at the expense of people who have less, but they could care less, catering to the CEOs of companies too big to fail, wealthy criminals avoiding jail. I see you, not seeing me. Police. Vindictive hypocrites that need to be dealt with, starting with the bully of Bridgegate. But oh wait, there's a list too long to go through, filled with politicians who would deny you the right to vote. And how dare you want health care? Oh yeah, I see you, not seeing me. Police serving and protecting their own political interests, a power structure designed to oppress, backed by prosecutors who won't prosecute police when they murder and maim. And if you demonstrate to complain, you're greeted with threats of violence from those boys in blue. So who's protecting me from you? I see you, not seeing me. Are you listening?
Yes.
I see you. Woo! You know, there's a lot of turmoil going on in the country. It seems to never end. But sometimes we need to look in the mirror and also look at the people around us that we interact with every day. Now, some years back, the NAACP held a funeral. Unfortunately, the deceased turned out to be an undead zombie. but I am not your N-I-double-G-E-R. Not yours, his, hers, or anybody else. So young brothers, slow down, check yourself. Now I know you don't want to hear that because you say it's old school and today you have new rules. Well, okay, so you go out and hustle every day, but you can't get it right, so it's 3 strikes and now your ass is serving life. The new rules, made just for you. But hey, I understand how the introduction of drugs has turned righteous brothers into thugs. The babies that made babies, but didn't raise them. And it all began with a generation past that didn't school the next, which has helped create this uninformed Generation X who has regressed into a mind-blowing state of ignorance with no knowledge of self or respect for anything or anyone else. Hey, you say you're hungry, but do you ask your neighbor for a meal? No, you rather break into their home, vandalize and steal, or shoot one another on corners over petty-ass drug deals. Oh, you're an embarrassment and should be ashamed of what you are. But rest assured, I am not your N-I-double-G-E-R. Not yours, his, hers, or anybody else, so don't call me that. And people say that crime is black on black. But oh no, I don't think so. See, black and proud is a dignified way of life, a state of mind that defines who we are. And we only hope that you're not really N-I-double-G-E-R. You know that. Shiftless, lazy, good for nothing derelict, who lacks any real intellect and don't care who, what, when, or where. But let some other spit it back and whoa, you get all bent out of shape. Well, hey, it's too late. See, they're laughing in and out of your face. Then say, what? Oh, now you want to play the card race. Hey, hey, young sisters, what has happened to you? Have you forgotten that it's black and naturally beautiful and not being played out by these blonde-haired celebrities selling delusions of grandeur? See, that's not being yourself. That's a pseudo betrayal of somebody else. Hey, you want a new look? Try a makeover called respect for yourself. But no, 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 you can't get with that. You rather shake and bounce to some rap that calls you a ho-ho. To make matters worse, you spend your money to see their show. Ladies, it's supposed to be Queen Bee, not blue eye contact wearing wannabe. But hey, you can fool yourself by denying who you really are, but I'm not your N-I-double-G-E-R.
Woo!
It seems today that people are so involved in self, they think of nothing else, well, except for what some Hollywood hype is up to or who's doing who. See, somewhere along the line, we took a pause from the cause, put a sudden stop to the boycotts, jumped on the expressway to hip-hop. I guess we forgot. Just because a brother sits in the driver's seat doesn't mean that racial injustice has ceased. But we're so afraid of losing the job that pays just above the minimum wage, we've all become the new in-debt slaves here in America. America, the stolen land. Sad to say that, united we didn't stand. Disaster in the Gulf states and the Bush administration was on sit and wait while citizens suffer because, well, they didn't have the paperwork in place. But oh, here's a slap in the face. They sent a sister out to announce it has nothing to do with race. Yeah, right. Hey, just shut up and go back to being juniors. Mortisa, White House Negro. And do ask, when did he become aware? Or did Junior even care? Because his no too slow reaction said, not here in America, America, the stolen land. Sad to say that, united we didn't stand. Tell me, have the American people gone from political activists to mindless passiveness, afraid to stir the pot, content to complain, but not willing to step up, get into the game? But on Junior's watch, we seen him plot a fraudulent war. He lost the Twin Towers, had the stock market on the verge of collapse at any given hour, and when citizens were in their greatest hour of need, they're called refugees and portrayed as rooters for trying to fulfill their basic survival needs. And while they were stuck inside the dome, land developers plotted to steal their homes. The government was busy phone tapping, FEMA court napping, and Bush on vacation while the people of the Gulf states were dying from Katrina's devastation. And this all happened here in America. America, stolen land. Sad to say that, united, we didn't stand. Revolution. You know, if you don't know your past, what they say, we're doomed to repeat it. Okay, so, you know, don't listen to necessarily what they teach you in school books, because there's a lot more to it than that. Now, you may recall or know nothing at all of the time when peace, power, and anti-war movements consumed the land. And when citizens weren't at ease with the government's policies, they made themselves heard through their actions as well as words. Do you remember back in the day when people stood up if they had something to say? Black and proud, saying it loud, all power to the people, hell no, we won't go, or and Jim Crow. There was Malcolm X, Huey Newton, Stokely Carmichael, Abby Hoffman, Angela Davis, Fred Hampton, oh, just to name a few who stood up to make the government see the people's point of view, and not accepting things as they were, but willing to make change occur. And with red, black, and green being the colors of the day, there was the Panther Party that fed the hungry and kept the pigs at bay. They took a trip to a state capitol house, although bureaucrats were scurrying all about trying to hide away. Ronnie, baby, was so scared he liked to wet his pants as he ran away. Do you remember back in the day when people stood up if they had something to say? John Carlos and Tommy Smith expelled from Olympic Games because of a glove and fist. And Ali had his title taken away when he said his name wasn't Clay. Got no beef with them Vietnamese and shown no respect for his religious beliefs. Yet Ho Chi Minh is the enemy we can't defeat, but willing to knock us down with fire hoses in the streets. And there was draft card and flag burning sit-ins. You didn't feel the need or want to fit in. March in Alabama, whoa, they sick the dogs in. Civil unrest, oh yeah, we do protest, and still the chickens come home to roost. And when the courthouses filled up with charges based on lies and deceit, was the People's Power movement that took it to the streets. Let Angela go. Let Angela go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't act like you didn't know that it was J. Edgar who was running the show. Now, if he was part of the plot to kill the Prince of Camelot, or if he was part of a plot to kill the king or not, it's Hoover that should have been got. Well, some would say. And with society in complete disarray, young people were viciously brutalized for wanting to express themselves with a peace rally in a Chicago park that police turned into a riot after dark. And there was segregation, integration, civil rights, the inner cities aflame with the politicians in denial, and they knew that BS wasn't right. They sent out the U.S. stormtroopers to roam about the land. They were shooting down college students who protested against the war in Vietnam. Oh, then we had Agnew's tax fraud and Nixon's Watergate, both forced to resign in disgrace. And there were law enforcement agencies that implemented these SS Gestapo-like tactics to terrorize, and to no surprise, the Hampton murder, they tried to conceal the court's mistreatment of Bobby Seale, and the massacre at Attica that just didn't seem real. And just when you thought you'd seen the worst, there's a media deception covering up the truth about Patty Hearst. Do you remember back in the day? People stood up if they had something to say back in the day. What happened to the revolution? Thank you.
And now I'd like to bring up our second spoken word artist, Mr. Ken Carter, also a member of the New Jersey Philharmonic Choir, Mr. Ken Carter.
Good evening,
Good
folks.
evening.
I want to first take a minute out to recognize Mr. Roy
Yes.
Merriweather. Roy Meriwether has done some wonderful things, but among them was writing a wonderful piece for the North Jersey Philharmonic Glee Club some years ago called The Black, Blue, and Gray. And we still sing that song because of his creation. Please give him a hand. I also want to recognize Brother Mike Goins.
Yes.
Because he took me back to where we need to go so that we can move forward. When I was 19, I was involved with an organization that advocated peace and harmony by any means necessary, the Black Panther Party. And we still stand. I'm not active in that organization, but I'm active on this planet, this place of existence called Earth. And we have much work to do still. Don't, as the Rasta would say, don't be afraid. We have work to do. Fear is just a tool they use, but it means nothing. Those of us who are spiritual people know that fear has no power whatsoever over us. No?
No.
None whatsoever. Let us move forward. I'm going to try to take you back. Many of you who may be close to my age, I see some of the younger brothers in the back there, welcome. I'm going to share some of my personal experiences with you. I'm going to first share with you a very close, intimate friend of mine called Billy. And you may know Billy or have an intimate relationship with Billy yourself. Billy, come and eat, boy. The food's getting cold. That's my mama calling me to dinner as usual. And as usual, the same old slop. God, why can't we ever afford a decent meal? I know my mama does the best she can, but it just ain't natural for we as poor as we are. My sister Missy and me been carrying biscuits and fat back to school for as long as I can remember. The kids in the lunchroom are always poking fun at our sparse lunches. There go the greasy bag kids, they'd say, as I take my assigned table in the lunchroom. Sometimes I felt so ashamed, I chose a booth in the boys' room where I could be alone with my poverty. I'm coming, Mama. I have about 3 pieces of firewood to chop, and I'll be right in. Billy stopped, as if to take time out to measure where the axe should strike the wood to split it. Looking up, Billy thought to himself, Lord, why must we be so poor? Why? Why must we be so poor? Look at these shoes of mine, holes filled with cardboard paper. And my sister Missy may never have good shoes to wear like the other girls. Our house is raggedy, and the plaster is peeling off the wall. And Lord, Mama been working for Miss Ann for years, trying to keep food on the table. Why do we have to be so poor? Why can't we live like decent people? If you show me how to get us out of this suffering, you can have my soul, Lord. Please, Lord, show me a way. Billy's prayer. This next piece is called Sisters. But before doing that piece, I'm going to do a piece called Mother/Woman. Because we have to understand which came first, the chicken or the egg? Mother, how great you are. You are the reflections of the earth, yielding fruits of tomorrow. Speak highly of your deeds. Give thanks as you bleed life's blood into the veins of all mankind. You are blessed. I can only look up to you, not down on you, for in you was my first breath. Mother. Sisters, I see your situation, and I feel your pain as you struggle for dignity, self-worth, and material gain. Working on backhoes and telephone rows and factory rows, and only God knows how you make ends meet. I mean, I see your situation and I feel your pain. Staying up awfully late at night because the children are hungry and need a bite. I feel you, I honor you, and your willingness to fight when you know you're right. I feel you, my sisters. Now slide over and let me help you. This is my commitment and my responsibility to you, my sisters. Thank you. We have been sold a bag of goods in our communities, and it has served to separate our families. And now we actually believe that we are a group of dysfunctional families. It ain't so. We have to come back and take responsibility. We need it now more than ever. We are much more than we think we are. Much more. For peace sake, I would live the life of a hermit. Such would be my desire. If it would bring us closer to the fire of peace and harmony. 'Tis not a limb I would not tear from me, if it would rid us of injustice and set the oppressed free. Those who suggest to have many a toil and strife, look at your neighbor's life, who exist only to die, who will never live, and constantly ask why. If this is the world's interpretation of what progress is to be, let the earth from which we came reclaim all humanity, for man has forsaken his sanity for peace sake. Sometimes we have to go back and come again, start all over again. Hey, brother time, what's this I hear about time? Will time wait for me? Slipping and sliding, dig yourself, time. You know, time, we've always been close. Can I rap to you, man? Time, you always brooming somewhere. Take it slow, man. You passing me by. Places to go, things to do, I want to go with you, man. Will you teach me that twilight mystery of time? The ecstasy of all existence? Hey, brother time, can you tell me where I can buy some time? Just enough time to start all over again? Brother time. Now, the other day, I had the privilege of being in front of some students, sharing some of my work. And the piece that I shared that we got a lot of discussion about is called Boob Tube. And they didn't understand, quite frankly, what I was saying when I said boob tube. And I said, well, you guys are exposed to it daily, and probably too much. But watch out. The messages may not be so empowering, they may be disempowering. Boo tube. Television says, do this, do that. No, wear this, not that. Like this, want that. Hate this, kill that. Spend this on that. See this, feel that. Believe this, we say this style, not that. No, this style. Watch this and that. And this and that. And we do what television says, like it's our only authority. Boo tube. Put a curse on you, America. Put a curse on you. Thousands dead. And talk about thousands more being led into the shadows of death with no guarantee of coming back. Put a curse on you for even thinking the thought, talking about freedom, democracy, and humanitarianism, while black, brown, yellow, and poor whites suffer inhumane existences on here, these shores of ye old America the beautiful. Put a curse on you, America. Put a curse on you. Present legislation in the House reenacting the death penalty, talking about humanitarianism. No, America. But we challenge you. We challenge your hypocrisy. Put a curse on you, America. Put a curse on you for neglecting your children and yet their children's children. Be mindful, wretched one. Draped in red, white, and blue. This time, there will be not those fleeing Canada, escaping your witch's brew. Ah, this time, my pretty, put a curse on you. Put a curse on you, America. We declare that your actions are unjust, and by the powers vested in us, we put a curse on you. I'm going to end, and I'm going to lighten up a little bit. This piece is called Reflections of the Moon. I am born under the sign of the moon. My birthday is going to be next month, the 20th. And how many people are Cancerian, born under the sign of that mystical astrological sign? Okay, so I'm by myself. I am the moon. My glow repels darkness. Exalted high, yielding down to you in submission of my bounty. When I stand full as a king on his throne, my power is empty without your need of me. I am the moon, for these things I do pray. Take of my worth till night turns to day. Let me be as the water is to the fish, the sky to the bird. At your will, my brightest light, I shine on thee. I am the moon, and seek not to be free, but beg only that you have an infinite need of me. Thank you.
So we will be wrapping up the performance part of Juneteenth. And you know, you have to know that we started celebrating Juneteenth back in 1998. And then for a long while, we had to take a hiatus because we were so bombarded with the struggle of existing. So we had to just maintain the programs that we were doing and that we had already done the groundwork for. But Juneteenth is very important, and we look to reestablish, you know, that history of commemorating this date here at the Community Awareness Series. So now I'd like to bring out our drummers, because, you know, without any African celebration, any African American celebration, there should always be the drum. The drum is our heartbeat. And I don't know, we're going to bring the drums out. I think they're back there. Yes? Yeah, okay. We're ready? Okay, we're gonna take these things down. And the two dances that they're going to illustrate and talk about tonight will be Jondon and Wolosadon. Slavery to freedom. And they're not necessarily that, but this is what they've come to symbolize for us now, celebrating Juneteenth. Slavery to freedom. Jondon, Wolosadon. Watch it. I'll unplug. Okay. Sister Zoom, we all know she's been here at the library for many occasions, Kwanzaa, Black History Month, and she is the keeper of the culture in terms of the dance and the drum, and she has spectrums, African dancers and drummers, and she has a wealth of historical knowledge in terms of how the drum and the dance have always played a great part in our celebrations. So we have Kizori, Kinar, as well Sahar too, and then Mark Turner. And they're going to be on djembe, songba,
Before they start,
and juju.
before they start, they're just going to do a Pelly Tum Tum. Pelly Tum Tum is to summon the people. It's to give the call for everybody to come. So what they're going to do, no, I'm good, because normally it's full, so they can hear, because there's not a lot of people now, right? You can hear my voice?
Yes.
Okay. And so what happened is they're going to pay a Pelly Tum Tum, means it's a call. All right, and it's called Sente. And then just pay it for a minute, bring it up, crescendo, and then they'll bring it down. And then we'll go into the Jondon and Wolosadon. And because it's a teaching thing, we'll stop, go, and then we'll just end it with a couple of pieces of continued dancing as far as choreography, okay? All right. it's a movement for puberty, for the young people who went through puberty rights. And there's male steps and there's female steps. And when they're coming out the bush, from whatever they've learned, a year away, 2 years away, that song is played, okay? We're going to do the Walo Sedon, well, we're going to do Jean Don first, because Jean Don on this side of the water, okay? Meaning we came from an indentured servant type situation. Meaning you weren't slave to your people, but you had a caste. So if you were seamstress, okay, if you were the one who grew certain crops, if you were the one who made certain masks, if you were the gatekeeper for things that you had in your particular village, you were in that system. And that stayed in the family lineage, okay? Yeah, it stayed in the lineage. And so it didn't become an enslavement type movement until we got on this side of the water. Okay, so you would know who were the mask makers or who were the bronze makers. You would know who were the ones who did the cloth and the macrame by their dance and by their fabric. And so you would know who these people are by their craft and things that they wore on their bodies. Like right now you see some of the Adinkra symbols and you didn't know before they were. Okay, you see the symbols on the wrought iron fences and you see the curvatures. That's the Sankofa. And it means in order for you to go forward, you have to look back. You see some of the fences with the peak? That was left by the Moors. They would stand with that. Okay? Grandmama and them on the baby's cradles, you will see at the top of the cradle, look like a heart shape. That's to let you know the Ghanaian people left that particular Adinkra symbol. Okay? You would know what caste of people. So we were considered the blacksmiths. Mr. White Man, whose name was Smith, you were owned by him. So he was a white smith and you was a blacksmith. And you did the metal work. You made the horseshoes. You made the pots. You made the fences. You did the things that lined the buildings. So if somebody's saying, I'm going over Mr. Smith's house, you'd have to say, which Smith? White Smith or black Smith? Okay? Or this is Mr. Richards, so you're Richard's son. Okay? Or Will, or you're Will's son. So these names were tagged on to us. And coming with it, most people from the South, they have a caste and a crest. So you might have seen your grandparents with certain symbols around the house, like things they put over the door. You ever notice that? Grandmama's house had something over the door, right? Or she would make little markings on things. But you wonder what it was. Those were symbols that her mother, her grandmother, her grandfather, they would leave, okay? Or they would do stuff like when you see that movie, Color Purple, and she put them fingers there, right? Remember that? And there was hexes, right? Remember those hex signs? But see, that would stop people in their tracks. Even today, we do hexes. Somebody talks to you, right? You know what that means. All right, somebody talks to you and you go like this. You know what that means, right? Somebody go like this, you raise the eyebrow, okay? So we had things that we did. And inside that caste system was things that represented movement of the class system that came to this shore. So there's dances for birth, death, marriage, puberty. There's movement. And when that music had a point where you're old enough in here to know, Grandpa and them, when they danced in that circle, remember that circle dance? Remember that circle dance? And they would get in the middle and do all kind of stuff, right? You know Uncle Willie? Yes. See? Okay, somebody be old enough to know the cakewalk. Remember the cakewalk? Are you back in the 30s and 40s? The trucking? You used to do the fingers down here? Okay, you know. Right? Those dances have semblance. They have meaning, okay, in Africa. And the Charleston, which we'll do, well, I won't call it the Charleston. That's what they used in the 20s. Okay? But the one who went over the ocean, Lindbergh, what's his name? Lindbergh?
Yeah, Lindy Hop.
Oh, the Lindy Hop. Because they couldn't do the jitterbug. They couldn't do the jitterbug. And all that flaring, all that under the legs with people on, so they slowed it down. The jitterbug was phenomenal. And it was done dancing at the Savoy that we couldn't go to at first. And couldn't go to the Cotton Club. Okay? So these things were in-house dances. Okay, and so that Punchinella, look who's here, Punchinella, and you make the circle. Oh, we got a big rise out of that, right? So what can you do, Punchinella in your shoes, and then you step in the middle, and you do something, and then you tag somebody, and then the next person come in. That's inside the dance. Okay? So nothing is made up. Okay? And then when you was burning somebody, like in the 60s, you be dancing, you go. Remember that? Remember that? Okay? All of that's inside. All of that's inside. Okay, so there's reason for the rhyme. All right? So don't think that it was just made up stuff. Okay? Or the temptation walk. All this stuff, it has significance inside the culture. Okay? We're going to do the Jondon, and it's slow and it's methodic because it deals with chains on your legs and chains on your hands. So you really can't step away because you chained to somebody else. All right? You can't just walk off and leave because you chained to somebody else. And that movement, the quivering that your girlfriend Beyonce do, that quivering is keeping that cry in because you're getting hit. So you stepping and you hurting and you hitting. And somebody might fall. You can't leave them because you're going to get hit for that person being down there. So the saying of, he ain't heavy, he's my brother. You got to pick him up. And you got to carry him because if you're not moving, you're going to get hit again. Okay, so you have to move with them chains. And so we had the washboard. Remember the washboards? Yes. Had the bell on the side of the drum. Okay, we had what you call a castanet, but that was a metal piece. That was the timekeeper. And that kept the history of the family. And then they moved that from the side of the drum. And then they realized we were still communicating. They took that off the side of the drum. Then you had the triangle. That's still metal. They took that away from them. Okay? And then they had the washboard. And then old man Charlie, old Pop, he had the spoons. And he kept the spoons going. You see how it just came from one thing to the next. Okay? So everything has a meaning. So can we get some Joan Doe? And there's 3 phases to this dance. Most people only know 2. They know the slow and the fast, but there's the middle, and that's the middle passage one. When you're on the plantation and you're looking to see how you can get off. And when Harriet Tubman is coming through and she's telling you which way to go. So you have to look. And there's dance steps depicting that looking or the hesitation, okay? So my daughter Kadama is here, and we're gonna take chances doing a couple of the slow steps, and you have to remember you're chained. So you make music even out of the chains, okay? So we still do stuff like that. We make use of whatever we got. If it's a broke comb, it becomes Afro pig. If it's a washed out jeans, you made a mistake, you put bleach on. It went in the wrong wash. You understand? So we make good with what it is. And acid wash and washing on the rocks, they still do that in Africa. Your clothes be white. And they didn't use no bleach. Okay? So can we get some Jondon? It's slow, methodic. And we'll take turns showing you the steps, okay? So it's movement. And you gotta hurry. And you gotta look. Okay? You might wanna go that way. You might wanna go that way. But you gotta stop and you gotta wait. Because you'll get direction. Follow the drinking gourd. Remember that song? That's the half moon. Go straight. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Dogs can't sniff you out. Right?
Right.
That's it. conditions, in the mud, in the concrete, in the cave, getting hit, and not crying out. So you have a baby cry, and you hold it, and you be like, they gotta let loose. But when you're in control, and you don't cry it out, you're showing another kind of strength. And to be on that end, how many people saw Sankofa? One. You. You know what Sankofa movie?
I saw it.
You saw it. And it was an epic movie. And these are people who are right in your midst. Most of them were social workers, doctors, teachers, community people. A lot of them came out of New York. But the significant things about Sankofa was that bird, right? And she said, this world is getting small, y'all. This world is getting so small. The freedom was in the bird that represents the death. That was your freedom. At the end of the movie, you remember the end? Everybody was sitting on the rocks.
Yeah.
What do you think? What were they? They was dead. They were all dead. And she took her place. Right? They had on, you see that white paint? They're gone. Okay? But you saw that staff, and the Sankofa bird was on it, and the head is turned around backwards, and sometimes it's an egg in the mouth. So you're dropping your seeds. Oh. And if you look good on the wall in that movie, when he's drumming, ching-chong-chong, ching-chong-chong, right? You'll see scriptures on the wall. Yeah, first you start seeing numbers. You say, what's the numbers? If you don't look for it, you don't know to look through stuff. I break down movies like that. You'll see, okay? But the fantastic thing is, I've met with this sister, and she's in New York, and every year they make the big raft with all the fruits, vegetables, everything on this raft, and you push it out to the ocean as an offering. But the most astounding thing is, there's an elder, a woman. She cannot walk. And you carry her out to the ocean, and she swims where you can't even see her. You can't see her. She's in her 80s. And then she swam back. That's amazing.
Yes.
And you have to go to the edge to pick up because she can't stand. But she can swim. You understand? So those things, they stay with you.
Yes.
And so when we deal with that word Sankofa, it's more than just a movie. And you see how she's laying out, and the man is taking the pictures. Okay, when you reverse that, okay, she's having fun and she's degrading that whole spiritual thing of going back, looking back. You remember when the door shut, she went down?
Yes.
Wasn't it? You got to get this movie. We're going to have to show a movie over here,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
And when that door shut, she was walking, right? And that music was playing, right? You saw when they branded her.
Yes.
But before that, she tried to run. And when she ran, she saw the door open. She was so happy. She's going to get out of that slave chamber. Those chambers are real. That's the slave. That's in Ghana. Okay? And she ran up them steps, and she was so happy to see the door open. And when she got to the top, they just grabbed her. They're going to bring her back downstairs. She said, no. I'm not an African. Keep that in your head. We know that the Africans were all over the world. They weren't called Africans, but that's a Greek word. We know that brown people were all over the world. We didn't just get brought here. We were here and left it intact. The travels here with us were always. They didn't start traveling until brown people navigated the boats, because they thought the earth was flat. You learned that in school, right? So they couldn't travel because the earth was flat. So what happened before 1400? So you have to understand, this is a historical landmark. And we need to pay homage. I wanted to open up really with a pouring of water and a libation, because that young man who killed those people in that church, that was methodic, that was thought about, that was premeditated, that was in one of the oldest places in the United States, started by the slaves below the Mason-Dixon line. The African Methodist Church is the iconic place for people to be and go and gather. So whether he knew what he was programmed to do or not, he did it. And so he sent one or two out so they'd be able to tell the story. So that's why it's premeditated.
Yes.
And he was allowed to come in and sit down. And he was allowed to stay for an hour. Understand what I'm saying? So now I want each and every one of you, tomorrow or Monday, to go find out where the Klan is at having a meeting and go sit in a meeting. Do you think you'll be able to get in? I'm just putting this in your head because we allow everybody. And we have to understand that that's based on our nature. Okay? Juneteenth is serious. Okay? And it was done on that purpose for this time. And so we don't have to go to where they have a meeting. There are lawyers, there are doctors, there are teachers. And I don't just mean, I'm not talking about just European. I'm not that kind of Archie Bunker racist. We got our own that do all kind of craziness. Okay? But whenever you see them name a war machine as strong and powerful as ISIS after a goddess from Africa, you know it's not a Middle Eastern thing. That's homegrown, homebred right here. We need to understand that. The Confederate flag will fly again. The noose will hang from the tree. What will we do? What will we do?
This is reconstruction.
Redestruction. Did you hear the thing? I'm just angry right now because in my belly is fire, but they forgave him. I know love heals. I know we need time, but guess what? That's expected of the conditioning of us in the United States of America.
To forgive and love.
Come and kill me again. Come and shoot me again. Come and rob me again. Come and condemn me again, and I'll still love you.
So we're going to just do a little
Libation?
libation.
Because we have to understand, any of us could have been in that church. So now people are telling me, Zuzu, the meeting we having now, I'm going to be looking around. You better look on the church. You better look on the train. You better look in the malls. You better look in the basketball fields. You better look inside the football field. You got to look everywhere. Because those are gathering of large amounts of people. Don't care who they kill. Yeah. Well, yeah, they're in Newark. Mormons in Newark.
Guys,
And Fridays.
sisters and brothers,
Yes.
I bring out the Kinara because the Kinara is significant for us. It's our foundation, it's our history. We're going to have a little ceremony spreading the word, break every chain.
All the time.
Break every chain. So this one black candle is going to light every candle here tonight. And I want us to utter to one another words of resistance, emancipation, freedom, breaking the chain.
By any means necessary.
By any means necessary. So I will start, and I'm spreading the news. We're free. Stand up. Make some noise. Do your part. Break every chain. So, I'm going to give you yours. Please, with one candle is going to light every candle. So if I give her hers, you'll come and yours will be lit from hers. It's going to be a continuous.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Break every chain. The red, the black, the green. And I put this little thing on there because if it melts, it'll run down into that. So you'll hold it to.
Okay,
And you're going to utter your word. So we'll start. Please come, get your candle.
Frederick Douglass said agitate.
Break every chain.
Aggravate.
Break every chain.
Please, one.
You're going to get light hers, and whoever's is going to get lit from yours.
And courage is more exhilarating.
Everyone
than fear.
please. break every chain.
Agitate, aggravate.
His is gonna light yours. His is gonna light
You're
yours.
gonna, I guess you're gonna take,
No, his is gonna light the next one. That one candle, we're gonna spread the news. We're gonna spread the news. We're gonna light, yes, we're gonna spread the news. Give them a word of resistance. Go ahead.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Love, trust, understanding.
Break every chain.
and every nation has a right to be free. Every human has a right to be free.
There you go. Break every chain.
Come to light a candle. Where's Kyrie? Oh, okay, good.
Here you go. I'm sorry, so break every chain. You have it?
Did you hear what Obama said on the news? He said this kind of crime is only experienced in the nations that's supposed to be so prolifically technologically advanced. It does not happen in other nations. Okay? This massive crime that we're going through, they may have picky-packy crime, but we're scared of our own. We have people dead every day. We have people killing each other every day.
This candle is gonna go from one to the other. One
Please
like,
tell me like
no,
the candle
yes.
says.
Wherever the last one stopped, the next one
Where's
starts.
mommy with the baby? You got the baby, so mommy come over and light the candle. Your people have to be free too. We know what happened over there in Asia. Come on, they ran the dollar money out. Come on now. Mama's, as a matter of fact, you're gonna be here next month.
Spread the word. We are free. So wherever it started, right there.
Disengage slavery. Disengage it from your mind.
Spread the word, break every chain. Spread the word, break every chain. Spread the word, break every chain.
Ugly is as ugly does.
Every chain.
Break every chain.
We're free.
Spread the word, break every chain. Spread the word, break every chain.
Thank you. This is wonderful because I was having a fire in my belly, and I was dealing with the fact that they were flying the Confederate flag. They didn't want to make it half-mast. They did a little dip, and that was it.
Disrespect.
Well, disrespect and then disengage. Disrespect and then, what do you call it? Disconnect. Yes, that's right. That's right, we have to.
And more.
Anybody else, anyone else? And please understand, this is not to be frightened. We're not doing a ritual that's doing anything bad. We're just enlightening ourselves to know that this is how things get started. Okay? Because he wanted Rhodesia to fly again. He didn't want Zimbabwe. Okay? He wanted the Klan to march again. They have never stopped. They just went to work. They ain't underground. They in your face every day. Take the clothes off. You'll see it. It's tattooed. I'm sure you'll see it.
God's candles.
The
You'll see
reason
it.
that we're here this
Candles.
evening for enlightenment, because due to
The
confession,
last candle.
did not realize until this very minute,
Who had the last candle?
true meaning.
Somebody needs, her candle
Who
needs to be
had the
lit.
last candle? Who had the last candle? No, you had the last candle.
So tomorrow you come.
Break every chain. Break every chain. Here's the last candle.
I'll leave that.
And don't think chain is made out of metal for everything. We got other kind of chains.
Very invisible chain.
Okay? We got all kind of chains. Hindrances. But we're not dealing on a higher frequency. Because once you deal on a higher frequency, those things don't even exist. Those things are only in the imagination of those who really believe that somebody else has more power over you. And so we have to understand and we have to ignite our own flame. So when they see your flame, they know they're going to burn. You can't lower your head. You can't bat your eye. You can't swallow when you're trying to break the chain. You got to be very firm and very stern. Okay?
And we're also remembering what happened
That's right.
this past week
That's right. In a church,
in
a
a
place
place
of prayer. So that lets you know that's not considered holy to enemy. Okay? Okay? So we need to know that.
Okay.
Thank you so much. This ceremony here, it guided me through another tunnel. Because the way out, sometime I want to.
We're remembering
This one. Thank you. And those that went before us.
those that went before us. That's
And
right.
those that jumped off the boat, fell off the boat. Remember our Holocaust. Got
Yeah.
thrown off the boat, left the furniture on, because the furniture was more valuable than the flesh. Okay, and those that were force fed so they could be sold for a higher market. And those that were made to breathe. And those that weren't tall enough, they had to be thrown away. Those that didn't have all their teeth had to be gotten rid of. Those that couldn't have any children had to be made a house slave for the rest of your life. And for those that we had to sacrifice and take care of other people's children in order to keep our own. And for those at Goree and in Ghana, underneath the steps, how could we have these things go on under the steps and you live upstairs? Your price is a block of cheese and a bottle of wine, 75 cents. How could it go on? We have other factors now, y'all, so we got to deal with what's going on with us and how can we have a blind eye to certain things. Okay, we got to stop it. And I think universal prayer helps help unite us.
I just didn't want it melting on.
Yeah. Does everybody live now?
Jacob's ladder, beyond I mean, Jacob's ladder, we are climbing, Jacob's ladder, we're soldiers of the Rise and shine and give God the glory. Rise and shine and give God the glory. Rise and shine and give God the glory. We're soldiers of the cause. Every rung goes higher and higher. Every rung goes higher and higher. Every rung goes higher and higher. We're soldiers of the cause.
Thank you. There are 4 ropes and up in here.
Spread the word.
Thank you. Thank you. For those that are fearful of putting the flame out with your finger, use the foil. For those who are not,